Hello everyone, my name is Arindam and in this video I'll be showing you all 127 colors applied on stone structures in ARK Ascended. So let us begin. Now this video is going to serve as a painting reference guide for stone structures, and I have applied the colors on stone walls which you can translate to other stone structures like door frames, foundations, ceilings, etc. This video is going to be part of my painting reference guide mini series, in which this will be my second video. In the previous video I had done the exact same thing but on wooden structures, which you can see over there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be covering all of the different structure types in ARK Ascended, like thatch, wood, adobe, stone, greenhouse, metal, tech, etc. After looking at my previous video, I thought I'm going to make a couple of improvements. The first improvement that I've done is I've made sure that the different colors that we have are ordered from... Okay, before I do this, let me change the time of the day, because currently I need to change the weather, because the weather is currently affecting how the colors are going to look like to you, and we don't want the colors to look different. So let me make it clear skies. That might be easier. Okay, so one of the improvements that I've made in this video as compared to my previous video is I have ensured that all of the colors in each of the different families are now properly sorted in order of dark, deep, light and exceptions. And there are a total of 127 colors divided into 14 color families, each color family having 8 colors, and there are 2 families that contain 1 extra color and 1 family containing 1 less color. To ensure that this video is consistent, I have applied a couple of console commands which has ensured that the time of day is going to be fixed at 11 o'clock, so that you guys get a very good brightness and vibrance when viewing this front side. Later on we are going to be showing you the other side also, in which I'm going to be changing the time of day to ensure there is no shadow on the other side. You will try to note how there is subtle differences in shade and tint between two adjacent colors and 2 colors from 2 adjacent families. The difference is very minor and it might be very difficult for you to even spot sometimes, but I'll try to make the video a bit slower so that you can easily understand. And this took a bit of time actually. You can see I had to basically have spray paints for all 127 colors, which has taken monumental time. Anyway, so let's start. And yes, as you can see, I am in GCM. Okay. Starting off with the first family, I'm going to be turning on Ghost and I'm going to be disabling my HUD. So the first family covers what I would call the new variants of blues. So the second family are the OG variants of blues found on ARK, and this is the new variant. Starting off with the dark one, we have Cetacean, Prussian, Sapphire, Azure, Baby Blue, Moonstone, Overcast, Cornflower, and finally Marine. Now let me again go from the front. Now let's start with the second family. These are what you will call the traditional blues. Starting with Midnight. Note how subtly different Midnight is with Cetacean. Cetacean looks slightly more blackish. So we have Midnight, Navy, Cobalt, Blue, and by the way, blue was my primary color in ARK Survival Evolved, which has now been replaced in ARK Survival Ascended with Azure, and they are side by side. So from blue we go into deep freeze, denim, frost, haze, and finally ice. The third color family is the color family that combines the color palette of blues and greens. We have the various shades of cyan, aquamarine, teal. So let's start. First we have Mariana, Skobeloff, Stream, Ocean, one of my favorite colors, Teal, Cyan, Electricity, Crystal, Celeste or Celeste. Next we have the all important shades of grey. Well, we don't have 50 shades of grey, but we certainly have at least 9 shades, starting off with black, shadow. Note the subtle color difference between black and shadow. Black and then shadow, charcoal, gunmetal, slate, steel, grey, silver, wisp, and finally white. In general, I thought of doing this video without bloom, so I wanted to turn bloom off. As you can see from my video settings, I had initially turned off bloom, but I realized that turning on bloom will allow you viewers to know how the different shades of grey, especially the whiter shades, affect the bloom conditions. And I have also turned on cinematic mode. Anyway, so that was the various shades of grey. Next we come to the 3 families for green. So the first 2 families are kind of similar. It's very difficult to actually spot the difference. So the first one is the family of green that is a bit more closer to marsh or swamps, and starting off with swamp green, avocado, orc, chartreuse, menthol, filth, putrescence, nyanza, craggy dew. The next we have the normal shades of green, starting off with jungle. Note the subtle difference again between swamp and jungle, very subtle difference. So we have jungle, forest, lagoon. Again, you practically cannot see the difference between orc and lagoon. They look exactly the same. So after lagoon you have spring. Again, the difference is almost zero between chartreuse and spring, at least on stone structures. Even though what I had done for all of these different colors was I had gone to various sites and I had taken their RGB, basically the hexadecimal codes for the different colors, and I had plotted them onto a Google sheet, and that is how I was able to find out their exact hex codes, and I was able to sort them in various orders of vibrance, brightness, and contrast. So even though chartreuse and spring look exactly same, they are actually not. That is just the way the stone structure is behaving with the color, but they are actually quite different. So we have spring, shamrock, turquoise, aquamarine, sea foam, and then we actually have a stone structure with no color. That is why I gave a special indication and marked the wooden wall sign as white. So it is basically the default structure of stone without any color. As you can see, it looks kind of like a shade of grey somewhere between steel as well as slate. Okay, next we come to the third variant of green, which is starting off with nori, hunter, grass, emerald, the default green, mint, pistachio, celadon, chateau. So after we have completed the 3 shades of green, we are now coming to the 3 shades. I won't say they are 3 shades, they are mostly like the yellows and oranges, starting off with the browns. So starting off with the browns, we have mud, bark, brown, leather, camel, tan, sand, parchment, cream. Next we have the various shades of yellow, starting off with drab, olive, citron, yellow, mustard, canary, buttermilk, khaki, and finally mold. So these were the various shades of yellow. Next we have the various shades of orange. Yes, these are shades of orange, by the way. That's how orange will look like if they are very dark. So starting off with bronze, terracotta, Windsor, orange, tangerine, gold, cantaloupe, peach, latte, and finally dirt. Now you might think why dirt is being a dark color is placed at the top. That is because when I look into the hex codes, I found out how the colors are related to each other. So whenever I've ordered the colors, I've ensured that the distance between two colors in terms of their RGB values is minimal as possible. Yes, it involved a bit of programming, and I am a software developer, so yes, that was not a big deal for me. So these are the various shades of orange. Next we come to the various shades of red, starting off with burn, scab, gore, red, tulip. Again, red was one of my colors in ARK Survival Evolved, which has now been replaced with its sort of pastel shade called tulip. Anyway, next we have salmon, incense, idocha, brick. Now we have the last 3 shades which conform to the pinks, purples and violets, starting off with the reddish pinks. So starting off with the reddish pinks, we have raisin, Tyrian, lust, fuchsia, flamingo, valentine, bubblegum, Kobe, rouge. Next we have the not reddish but the default pinks, starting off with eggplant, it's called brinjal in my country. Next we have plum, purple, bruise, magenta, pink. Note how subtle the difference is between magenta and pink. You almost cannot see the difference, even though the difference is very much there if you were to paint the colors on saddles. So you have magenta and pink, orchid, cotton candy, thistle. Now we come to the final family of colors, which are the various shades of purples or violets. So we have starting, okay, again we have to go into photo mode because we do not want this rain to damage the color palette. So yeah, this problem happens a lot, unfortunately. Unfortunately, rain has added some uh, textures to this texture map, basically the rainy textures, and this that has kind of clouded these colors. So let me do one thing. Let me come here and disable bloom, and it should become slightly better. So I know it's very difficult to spot the colors like this, but let me try to see if I can help it out. So we have twilight, eminence, indigo, violet, lilac, lavender, mauve, royalty, dusk. Alright, so these are basically all of the 127 colors applied on stone structures. Let me give you an overview, and this time I turn on bloom because we are going to be going to the other side and see how that looks like. If you look at the bloom, you will find that some of the colors like the lighter shades, especially white and silver, are glowing a lot, which means that when you apply these colors and you have some kind of light source nearby, like a omnidirectional light, then it might actually blind you. I'm not sure how it's going to play out in PvP, but you can set up a whole bunch of light sources and you can color everything white, and maybe that can kind of act like a passive version of flashbang. Just a side note. So this is how the colors look like on stone structures, and now we are going to go into the other side and see how it looks from the other side, because on the other side we not only have stone, but we have some shades of we also have a bit of wood also. We do not want this shadow to cloud our judgment, so let me okay, this can be done, by the way, via photo mode again. So let's do that. So photo mode, we don't want too much, you don't want it to be too much dark. So this is how it looks from the other side. Note how the wood part of the stone structures are behaving. Note the color. Let me go over each of the colors. You can circle back to how the colors look like from the other side. So these were the shades of blue and blue green. Next we had the shades of grey with alongside the shades of green. You can see subtle differences between these two greens if you are very keen observer. Next you have the shades of yellow and orange. And then we have the final shades of reds, pinks and violets. And well, that is all of the 127 colors applied on stone structures. I will most probably be covering thatch next, because I know that these kind of videos are going to be referenced mostly by single players, solo and PvE players who don't have to worry too much about their structures getting raided. So thatch is a viable option for them, and thatch looks really nice compared to all of the lustrous brilliance of metal and the some of the effects that greenhouse has. Thatch looks really nice, so let me cover that. And that was okay. By the way, just before I end the video, the reason why there is so much distance between my wooden and my stone structures is because apparently, just like in ARK Survival Evolved, there is a limit on the number of wooden signs you can place nearby, and the limit is 200. So I tried to place these two things very close to each other, but I was not being able to attach too much signs, so I had to literally place it farther away. That's going to be a slight issue for me because I will try to fit the different types of structures here, but that's for a different time. Okay, here's how it looks like from the other side with the shadow. Anyway, that is it for this video. If you gain some knowledge from it, if you think this is useful, please drop a like and subscribe. And if you find my videos helpful. I will be basically covering various different things in ARK Survival Ascended, and unlike my ARK Evolved videos, these are going to be covered in not only one primary series but also various mini series. So till that time, stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and it has been my pleasure.